Do you think Tommy Thompson's really got what it takes to be a good president?
Yes and no. He has. I feel as though he's got a really, great background with experience. Not only in Wisconsin, but under Bush's campaign in his cabinet, but also he's got the look. He's got the name. He's Tommy Tom. It's found that little things like that help create a president, and I mean that's kind of disappointing to know, but
yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. Like Tom Vilsack, he almost got out of the election because of his name, because it was like Vilsack, it's not like a presidential name.
Same thing with Obama.
Yeah,
especially with the war in Iraq. I mean, it's so similar that people might categorize him as So it's sad that people base their who they vote for on such as face, what they look like and how tall they are in their last name, but it comes down to that once in a while. So.
Yeah. Who are you looking forward to?
Honestly, with so much hype behind the Democratic candidates, it's really hard to take a look at the Republican candidates. I got to be honest and say I don't know much about them, and I'm a big CNN fan. Let's try not to be biased here, but I'm a huge CNN fan, and they don't talk very much about the Republican candidates who are running. When they do talk about it, it's who's ever on the bill this week, who's saying I'm going to do it or I'm thinking about it or whatever. I'd like to see either Obama or Clinton as a president. I think both of them would do a really good job. I don't know if it's too early for Obama. I think the time is now if he's going to take his chance, because he'll, of course, get more experience then, but then, of course, you might have somebody who just comes and sweeps him away. So I think it's a good time. Yeah,
we'll say he doesn't run this year, and then say, a Democrat wins, and then they go on, he has to wait 8 years before he can run for it. I don't have a problem with his age, but I think some people might. Personally, for me, Barack Obama is right up there. I like Barack Obama on the Democratic side, and McCain on the Republicans. Well, I was talking with my friend the other day, and he said I was talking about what ticket I would really love. I would like it if Clinton were to win the Democrats, and then McCain were to lose, and then Obama and McCain go on a ticket as a third party. That would be the ticket. That would be the ticket I could really, really get behind, because I think that's kind of what the country needs right now, sort of a healing coming together. I mean, it's probably never going to happen, but for me, that would be great. It would definitely make media,
make headlines, most definitely.
So let's say Clinton wins the Democrats, and I don't know, someone else wins the Republicans, and then that candidate names Condoleezza Rice as their running mate. Does that almost force Clinton's hand to name Obama as VP? I mean, that's...
You take this.
I thought about that. I was thinking about that a few days ago. Like, how would that, if, say, they do choose Condoleezza, is she apt, just to kind of fit that need, to fit that vacancy, to kind of, because when it comes down to it, it's all about pleasing people. It's all about doing what they may not feel is right, but what's going to get them elected. Right. And I kind of feel as though, yeah, if whoever chooses Condoleezza, they might have to do Obama. I mean, who knows? He might not even accept the position, which I really don't think he would. I would like to see him go back and do more things, kind of work on his own, and then run again.
Yeah, to do more work in the Senate.
Exactly, yes. Just kind of give him, because people are doubtful of his experience, even though, I mean, I do feel, I've read up on him, I feel as though he is qualified, but a lot of people that I've talked to feel as though he doesn't have the experience that is necessary.
I think actually Obama's got a bright future, because if he doesn't run now, comes back in another 8 years, he's going to be strong for a presidential candidate, very strong. It's going to almost be impossible to beat him. If he runs and he wins for this 4 years, I think he's going to have a rough 4 years. He's going to get some things done, but he's going to have a rough time because of his experience. Then if he gets reelected, those next 4 years are going to be really, really strong years. So I don't really see too much downfall for him. That's if he doesn't mess up. I wouldn't suggest pulling a Howard Dean and yelling at a press conference anytime soon. Not at all.
I think now it's a good time in his life, but I don't know if it's necessarily a good time in the country's life, because he's got a lot of problems to deal with right now. I mean, we got foreign wars, and then Iran, and then energy crises, and it's just, I think the next president will have a lot of work to do, a lot of work to do.
I think it's needless to say that the next president will have a lot of mess to clean up.
Yeah,
a lot.
Definitely.
And so that's another thing about him, is he could also take the hero role. Anybody in this position right now is going to be the hero if they clean up this mess with Iraq. However he or she does it, however it happens, if in another 4 or 8 years America is at peace, or America is at least on a good steady level toward ending this thing, then that person is going to be seen as the Don of Dons, so to speak. So whoever it is, man, they've got a lot of work ahead of them, and I think that this is a good chance for that someone to be put up there with the great presidents.
Let's talk about Hillary Clinton. I think that maybe she's too polarizing of a figure for the Democrats. I mean, they won't get like the swing votes that maybe somebody else, some other Democratic candidate would get, because people either love her or they hate her. There's no middle ground with Hillary, though. Doesn't it seem that way?
It does seem that way. It does seem that way. But I haven't encountered too many people that have anything bad to say about it. So that's another thing. And plus, people still love Clinton. Let's forget about '98 for a little while. People, in spite of that, they still like Bill Clinton. And so with him campaigning with her, I mean, that's a hard act to beat.
And also the funding she's getting all the same.
Yeah.
She's bringing in like more than double what Obama's bringing in. So that'll definitely help her on the campaign trail. But say she wins the nomination, is she strong enough to defeat, say, like a Giuliani maybe on the Republican side? I guess it's hard to say right now, because it's hard to say who really the Republican candidate frontrunner really is. But I could see there being problems with people disliking her, and it's not that they have bad things to say about her. It's just that they plain dislike her.
That's true. Well, I don't know. It seems as if America is very liberal these days, as opposed to 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even 40 and 50.
It's definitely shifted throughout the years.
Yeah, definitely shifted its focus on liberalism, recognizing other lifestyles and things like that. And so when it comes down to it, I think that she's got a good chance of getting the votes, but I don't know how she's going to be treated by the Democratic National Party. So that'll be interesting to see in the next year.
I feel as though it's a little kind of pertaining to this. I just feel as though, even though America is it's turned more liberal, it's slanted a little more to the left lately. I see the possibility of Obama being elected much more. I feel the odds are much greater, because as a woman for president, as much as the liberals are for change and are for, let's do this, let's bring upon a new era, it might be too much of a change. It might be too big of a step that they might support her and then back off and just kind of like, we're not ready for that. And I feel as though like another part of it is she was, they kind of categorize her as like a feminist, as, a strong woman. And I've heard, the only negative thing I've heard about her was the fact that she stood by Bill Clinton throughout that. She did not, she was behind him, and she didn't, you know what, he did this wrong. She did not stand up for herself and like fully kind of, be a woman and voiced her, her pain and her that, and that's honestly the only negative thing I've heard about her. It would kind of be detrimental towards her election. So.
You got two clean-cut people in the race. It's going to be tough. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Rick. We will be back for more Political Forum after these short messages.